Hey Matt, you know how I'm a super genius and that's been established throughout the entirety of the show very clearly and explicitly?
Actually, I don't think so.
Roll with it. Well, I developed some new technology and I'd like to test it on you.
No, I like being your guinea pig.
I know, bitch. Alright, ready? Here we go. Matt? Well, I guess I'll try out my other new power to bring him back.
I've seen it all. I've been to the ends of the universe and beyond. I've seen every timeline, every possible galaxy all at once. And you took that away from me. You brought me back here.
Yes. Yes, I did. Because we watched a movie today! RoboRex, 2014 children's film. That's you.
What's up, Dave?
I'm gonna give you plot.
To what?
Alright. RoboRex, 2014 children's film, as we've stated before. I'm gonna try to keep this brief. But it's such a disjointed plot, I feel like I have to explain everything. So I'm gonna try to balance the two here.
I'm confused.
Yes, you should be. So, there's this kid, Jimmy Miller. His mom disappeared a while back. His dad is a cop who, doesn't connect with his son or whatever. He's clearly a super genius, and his mom left him this crystal that he wears around his neck. But he's bullied at school. One day he sees a meteor falling out of the sky. He follows it, and he has a dog named Rex, by the way. Sees a meteor falling out of the sky, and there's a cat, a robotic cat that jumps out of it. It gets away, and then a girl from school comes up. He's like, "Wow, what was that?" He's like, "Oh, it was a robot cat." "Oh, okay. You want to come over for dinner?" "Sure do." So they come over for dinner, and then that night, they're best friends apparently. And he finds another meteor fell out of the sky. And this one contains a robot dog that explains that the dog was sent from the future by his future self in order to protect the crystal around his neck from someone named Professor Apocalypse and Destructo Cat, the cat from earlier. We cut to the cat, and the cat's going to contact a man named Jenkins, who becomes Professor Apocalypse, tell him, "Hey, you need to build a time machine to get the crystal back into the future with me so I could take over the world with it." And he's like, "Alright, cool, whatever." So they have a little bit of a fight. The cat doesn't get the crystal, but they're aware that the cat's after it at least. Then they... What the fuck do they do from there? He gets in a fight with his dad, and his dad's like, fuck you, kid. And he's like, yeah, fuck you too, Dad.
Had a permanent scowl.
Yeah, pretty much. And then they are captured by the cat after a couple little fun rounds of nothing. Seriously, like they keep on doing like the same plot arcs of like, oh, I got the time machine working. Oh, didn't work. So
no, it never worked. It never worked.
No, it never did.
He thought it worked, but it didn't.
But the
now it's coming back.
Cat then captures them and is like, now I've got the crystal and everything. And then I'm not going to become Professor Apocalypse. I'll just become the Great Jenkins. And he's like, Jenkins, you're fucking stupid and this shit shouldn't be working. And it's like, well, fuck you, kid. You suck my dick.
I'm gonna build a Fukushima type core.
Yeah, and so everything's starting to crumble down because he shouldn't have done that. And the kid, because he's so smart, is like, oh, well, we gotta cool down the core.
My mom wrote me a message in the code.
Fucking hell. And they cool it down, and they save the day, but the building's still coming down. And his dog Rex was palling around throughout most of this, but Rex gets hurt by Destructo Cat, but it's okay because they're just going to complete the time loop and put Rex into the robot dog body.
By putting a fidget spinner on his
It's
head.
literally a fidget spinner. And so, in the end, Destructo Cat's taken care of and actually comes back as their pet. Jenkins goes away, and the dad learns how to connect to his kid, and it's your feel-good family Disney Channel movie. Point being, this movie...
Not as good as Halloween Town.
No. This movie... Alright, where should we start on this? One thing I want to... Oh, that was the general plot, but now I'm just going to give a little bit extra here. A thing that we keep on seeing is that he wakes up to a Rube Goldberg.
I have that written.
This idea that these people do a daily task via a Rube Goldberg. Do they know how long it takes to set these things up? To restack every domino? To retie every knot? Do you get that?
I mean, I would think that they would because of how many times they probably had to set up this shit.
Probably. But what I wanted to bring up for is that at the very end, guess how they cool down the generator? It's a Rube Goldberg. It's that thing from the beginning. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Oh yeah, with the
Ah!
with the Rube Goldberg. Shush yourself.
I just hate that part.
I know. The thing is, though, also at the very beginning of the movie, as an opening credit sequence, it does a decent job of, oh, this movie's gonna be kooky.
It's gonna be whimsical.
But the thing is, though, it reminded me of the opening of Flubber. Only difference with that being is that the opening of Flubber, all the machines that were going and stuff like that were like practical shit. Like, he's making pancakes, squeezing juice, all that kind of stuff. Like, it had that element to it, but at the same time, like, it was something that furthered... It accentuated the fact that the character was smart.
Yes,
whimsical.
The thing about this kid is that the Rube Goldberg is all very childlike designed. Yeah, he uses some physics and shit like that, and he uses like some mechanical parts, but most of it's just like dominoes, balls, and counterweights. That's pretty much the entire thing. The only thing you get to say that this kid is, oh, he's a genius, able to figure out how to cool down reactor cores, is that he builds a helmet that brushes his teeth for him. And the fact that they say over
it doesn't
and over
actually
again,
brush his teeth.
Yeah, it's like 4 feet away. It's like, hey, my teeth's clean.
No, they're not.
Oh,
like,
damn, well.
No.
But yeah, it's just there's nothing to say that he's a genius except for the fact that the characters all say he's a genius. Which
it's
showed
like the Death Note movie all over again.
No!
No, well, the thing is, most initially, and I figure that we just go into the acting initially, because honestly, the script is the biggest part of this problem. It kind of goes like, the biggest problem is the script, then the tech, then the acting. The acting is not great. It is definitely like kind of like daytime Disney Channel movie type acting, and it's almost like I teach middle and high school students acting and video production. This is like that. Like, this is that quality of acting.
Mind you, the age range in this for all the kids is like 8.
Yeah.
Like, they are young.
Yeah, they are. But you know what? Games of Thrones did it right, so they can fucking do it right with goddamn RoboRex.
Yeah, we're gonna compare you to Games of Thrones. What do you got?
Hey, you just need a good
Why was there a
casting
fucking dragon?
You need a good casting director. That's what you need. That's what you need to do. You need to put out the right things. Also, that's getting into script. Either way, so
for acting, I guess the main kid.
Well, the main kids.
True.
Is like, because the main kid, he's like a hentai main character. It's just a blank slate, so people can facilitate their own fantasies about this into the movie.
The way it always came off to me.
He's so boring.
The way it came off to me in the very first 3 scenes, he came off as Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah.
He came off as, here's this kid building all these cool things.
But he's a low rent Jimmy Neutron.
But then, as soon as it gets to him being in school where he's not able to be around these things and he's forced to, interact with kids his own age, he came off more like Jake Lloyd. Where it's just...
He did say that.
He's just like, yeah, wowie,
yippee, yippee. He didn't literally say that, but
they don't. But it may as well have, because there's nothing that's defining him as a character on his own ground. Everyone around him defines him as certain things, but he himself, he's just
honestly
kid.
This is going into script. I have to go into
Whatever.
script.
Go ahead.
One of the problems that I have with this main actor. Well, actually, hold on. Let me handle the actress first.
Okay. Kara.
Kara. She is the Lois Lane.
Oh my god.
Of this story. She is a reporter type and whatnot. She writes on her notebook and takes photos and all sorts of shit. And she, for being the reporter type though, she asks a shockingly few amount of questions. Because
the kid, she
just buys.
They stumble across the crater in which a giant egg releases a robot cat, and there is
then it self-destructs.
There is no sign of any of it after its self-destruction except for a giant hole in the wall. She arrives. James saw the whole thing, and she says, "What happened?" He said, "An egg came from space. A robot cat popped out, and it is self-destructed." She goes, "Okay." Now, I don't know about you, but Pulitzer, like that. Fuck yeah.
That's what she was thinking. It's like it's like the character in Heavy Rain. She's like, "Oh, you're a fucking journalist." All right, but
going to
in and of itself, in and of the actress, her role in and of itself, her performance isn't horrible. And I hate using that term, and I really want to try to use a different type of terminology with it. Her performance was very wooden, but at the same time, though, it's exactly what I would expect out of a kid her age. Like, it wasn't amazing, but at the same time, though, like, it's not like, oh my god, this kid's so bad. It's not like Troll 2 levels of shit here.
It reminded me in Spy Kids 1, all those robot children, she could have been one of those.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, she knows what being human is. She sees it, she understands it.
She can mimic it.
But she can mimic it, but she's not.
She's not quite there.
It's strange, because she's one of the few people who isn't a robot in this movie.
The dad...
the police officer...
He reminds me of the dad in Death Note.
Yeah, he's just a cop who has problems with his son. I mean, that's a stereotypical role.
Oh, what's
anyway.
his name?
What?
He reminds me of this actor. I can never remember his name, though. He was in Crash. He was the cop guy in Crash.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't know.
When I was like, yeah, it's like, but like that's what he reminded me of. But he's just like, he was just always scowling. He's like, even when he had a smile, it was just like.
I mean, it was the stereotypical story of, oh, he just lost his wife recently, and he doesn't connect with his kid, and he's trying to find his way in the world. But they don't focus on that because they have a robot dog. So.
And they don't even try to build a relationship between the two of these characters.
Nah, it literally is like they leave one night of stay in your room. Don't come down until you're willing to tell me the truth. To, I'm so sorry I didn't believe you. I saw the robot cat.
No, he saw a blob on the screen.
He saw a blob.
It's a robot cat.
That looked kind of like a robot cat. And when he said that line, he was talking to another officer, and the officer had the perfect reaction of,
What?
What?
The fuck? No.
After that is Jenkins, the professor, action guy.
He was fun.
He was actually one of the most enjoyable parts of this.
He was fun.
Because
I wish there was more of that.
He played up his role. That was the whole thing. He played up.
And he played the older version of Troll too.
He was the Disney TV movie villain, where he's just mustache twirling and like, how can I get this power? There's one point where the time machine blows up and it's a giant smoke plume, and then he does that stereotypical thing where like he takes his goggles off and it's just like the white around his eyes where all the rest of him is black. And it's like, oh, you and your cartoonishly hilarious.
It's the only way Disney can get away with doing blackface.
Mind you, none of this is Disney.
I know.
None of this is Disney.
It's not Disney.
We keep on saying that. It's not Disney. It feels
got so
like
much Disney.
Yeah.
The hologram. Because they send them back these messages that they actually talk to. Like, it's an actual two-way.
It's not a recorded message. It is a, hey. Well, the thing is, though, yes and no.
Well, you can play it back, but at the same time, though, I still think that it was a legitimate conversation, but they just recorded it, too.
See, it's either that or it's the sort of thing in, for Doctor Who fans, the episode Blink of Doctor Who, where the future versions of them just remembered the conversations they had, and they said the right things at the right time in order to make it seem like it was their conversation. But in reality, either one is possible. But it seemed like, and for enough logic they put into it, that it was just a telephone through time in a hologram.
But those holograms, the first thing that reminded me was of a full motion video Sega CD game.
Straight up Night Trap.
It's like I'm a part of a special agent called SCAT.
Love it.
Love it.
Bullshit.
Destructo Cat and
RoboRex.
RoboRex. Wow.
So dipping into effects.
Well, before we dip into effects, they have superpowers.
Which kind of ties into effects, but
They have
let's
sonar pulses.
All right, so that's their main thing. It's the sonar pulse. Their bark and their, I would say meowing, but every time he does it, it's so it's kind of just a pulse. But
that'd be funny. You gotta redub that shit and just put it up.
But it causes these this sort of like glass shattering and everything like that, and they use it to break through like cement and shit like that. They can stop momentum of cars in midair, which we thought was just the sonar pulse like stopping it with an equal force, but in reality, they have time manipulation power. It stops and it stops. Even after time has moved on. The dog can teleport.
The cat can't.
The cat can't.
It can fly though. And it shoots lasers from
so
its
does
eyes.
the dog. The dog has that. And there was one more power. What was that one more power? Oh, the cat has like Terminator vision, where it can like scan whatever objects, but for some reason it can only ever see what it's looking for. Like at one point it's looking for documents. It scans one of the kids, and it's just like, well, that's not a document.
You see that he scans the fact that there is a kid on his scanner, like the skeleton and everything. He's like, oh, well, that's not a document, though. Fuck off.
That's all I was looking for. But I want to dip into the effects.
The dog is God.
Hold on. While we're there, I want to dip on the effects.
Yes.
Okay, so the dog and the cat, they make up a lot of this movie. Obviously called RoboRex. Whatever the title is. RoboRex. The effects themselves look fine. No, they look fine, the effects themselves. Putting them in the scene. Compositing it together with the live action footage, that's where it falls flat, because it doesn't seem like they're interacting with anything.
I told David before that if this movie had been animated, it wouldn't have been that bad.
No. Like if everybody was animated, the entire scene was animated, even if it was all CG, it would have been fine, because they interact.
Yeah, it wouldn't have it wouldn't have been as much of an eyesore.
No.
And also, like, some parts of it were so obvious that it wasn't there. Now, again, I get that, the low budget movie working with this stuff, but no. Some movies with no budgets have been able to pull off amazing special effects. So fuck off.
It's the sort of thing of
I hate when people are like complaining about the new It. And they're like,
I haven't heard that.
There's one thing that I've heard about people complaining about it, and it's the fact that the effects look pretty bad for a $30 million movie. And people are like, well, it's $30 million. It's not Star Wars. I'm like, bullshit.
Nah.
You've seen The Thing?
But that's what I wanted to bring up, was that every time in like any sort of Star Wars or like blaster sort of fan film or whatever, anytime they do one of those, they always, if the guy pulls the gun back or whatever, and like he's aiming like clearly up and to the right, and the dude's blocking it with the laser sword down and to the left, they still make that work. They still like shoot it at the right time or whatever. Even if it looks like crap, they still say, all right, this person performed this action, this person performed that action, connect the two. This doesn't even bother to connect. Hell, the toothbrush is 4 miles away, and that was practical effects. That was real. That was an actual helmet, and that was just ruined.
Was so bad.
So the special effects is so
bad. And it's not.
I mean, not all of it.
The credits prove to us that the animation was outsourced to a third different company that was in India, most likely. Now, that isn't necessarily to say that company is bad at what they do. But it's just considering the fact that I guess they didn't pay them very much because there was not a great work.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And clearly didn't pay much in this regard.
They have a montage in there that lasts far longer than a montage ever should.
Okay, so
this is getting definitely an attack.
Dude, Professor Apocalypse Jenkins is working on the time machine, trying to figure out the code without the crystal. The kids have decoded the crystal and the message it holds and sees all of like the equations and stuff inside of it.
And just hang out with the dog.
And the dad is he's looking at photos of him, his wife, and his son that fell off the mantle, and now he's just reminiscing.
And he's just standing there.
They cut between the three of these.
Few minutes,
at least for a few minutes.
Yeah,
just back and forth, while some what was it? Fate Under Fire, Under Fire, some band we just saw in the credits is playing a track behind it, and then the phone rings, the montage stops, the music cuts, and they move on with the plot. It's like, what did this accomplish?
And the fact of the matter is, guys, you know what montage theory is all about, is the fact that montage is supposed to show in abbreviated, short, doses of time to expand the entire story over a very small amount of actual movie time, but it's supposed to tell a larger story.
This was the reverse of that, where this felt like...
No, it wasn't the reverse of that. Okay. It's still doing that. That just means that the length of time that these people were doing that. So the dad was down on the floor for like half an hour.
Fuck you. They literally extended a 30 second, not even 30 seconds.
They repeat a shot too.
Yeah, they did. They literally extended a 30 to 20 second shot of like between the three of these. It should have been like maybe a 30 second to a 1 minute long sequence to a good 2 minutes. They doubled the length of time.
I wouldn't even have done a minute.
No, I gave it max
45 seconds maybe?
Max a minute. But they extended it out for no fucking reason unless we're playing by Dakota rules where it's gotta pad that runtime.
Pad it.
God damn it.
And I'm just gonna get toward the end here.
No.
The long last point that we had, Rex dies.
Okay, let me
Spoiler.
Let me real quick. I didn't really give a good thing on Rex. So the dog from the future is actually his current dog that he couldn't bear to part with, so he uploaded his mind into this robot dog. And then at the very end of the movie, the robot dog uploads himself as a virus into Destructocat in order to stop it, leaving this empty husk of a robot thing. Slightly earlier, the Destructocat fights with Rex, the real physical dog, and both are critically injured to the point where the dog probably isn't going to make it.
Yes. So, and then Rex dies. And what they do is they take the fidget spinner,
the brain transference device,
the fidget spinner, and they just take it and put it on his face, and that dog is like, what the fuck?
He's like it's not even like dead dog, like eyes closed. It's fucking like,
no, it's just
looking around. It's like, am I getting a treat after this?
I hope it's a treat. And actually, the funny thing is when he runs away from Rex's physical body to go to the robot body, the physical body disappears. But the fact of the matter is, though, one, they put Rex's consciousness into his future body from the future, and then the future body stays in the present time. You are tearing apart the universe, and at the end, they're just so happy about it.
This technology, if you're familiar with time loops at all, this technology was never actually created. The body existed in the present,
so
it moved up to the future, and then it got sent back in past. At no point did they ever build the body. It's always exists, unless there's some parallel universe thing.
Some fringe shit there,
man. But and the point where you said that they're blowing holes in the universe was that they had the Destructocat reprogrammed to be a nice kitty.
Yeah.
He used his thing to destroy all the glass. You're like, oh, those sonic pulses. And then he tweaked a few things and reversed time to fix it. And it's like, oh, no, that's violating causality. That's you're going to blow us all up.
Yeah, the universe will now implode.
Yep, good job.
Thanks, because you didn't want to break a pitcher of lemonade.
Because you wanted to laugh at the end of your movie.
Final thoughts on me is like this movie is it's not as bad as a talking cat or a talking pony from Dakota, but it's in that vein. In that way with me. Actually, it kind of is a mix between a talking cat and Assault Girls. It's like because it's got that mechanized aspect to it, but then it's got the what's the word? The sly talking animal.
I feel like Assault Girls is a bit too stylized to ever call it. Yeah, I see the mechanical aspect of it, but I feel like there's got to be another one. I'm just trying to think.
Oh wait, no, there is another one.
Android Insurrection.
Android Insurrection. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Man,
Android
how
Insurrection.
many cards have been popping up here? Right?
Oh god, man. It's like, yeah, but no, Android Insurrection and a talking cat. Like that's what this movie is kind of a fusion of.
I can see that.
And other than that, I mean, like technical wise, like it was very standard, very safe. It seemed like they always used the same lens. The color is very muted and very kind of like it doesn't really stray that often into any really interesting palettes. And I'm colorblind, but I at least can tell an interesting color palette when I see it. Wes Anderson's awesome. Go for it.
So I always have trouble with children's movies because everyone knows like the whole thing of like, oh, we shouldn't be talking down to children. We should be being able to say them, whatever.
Stop pandering to the children.
But at the same time, occasionally you need the pandering. Not that the kids need the pandering, that the adults need the pandering. They don't want to sit there and explain to their kids like, no, people die.
No, it's because there's stupid kids.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's dumb kids out there. I'm sorry, guys. We're dumb people.
This basically, okay. Also with the fact that the movie ends with like them not finding the mom, but also not outright saying that she's dead and saying that they will find her. It kind of seems like they were trying to set this up for like a franchise sort of sequel beat thing.
Yeah, RoboRex 2.
Yeah, like this thing is credited.
The Quickening.
The thing is credited as RoboRex, but the credits say The Adventures of RoboRex. It's like I've only seen one
Are
adventure. we going on more?
It's like The Adventures of Pluto Nash.
Yeah. Oh god. But no, when it comes down to this movie,
The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
This that's what it actually. Yeah, no, that's actually very in the way of like what the effects look like, in the way of how it pans.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl, I think, are better.
I think they're better only in the fact that they had a more. They did have a stronger person behind them. Whether or not the idea was sound, whether or not it came out all right, whatever. The staff and the people behind it were more capable. That is like Shark Boy and Lava Girl is more likely the vision that they had than this is to the vision that the directors had. But in the way of whether or not it's good or bad, it's a kids movie. I hate to define it as such, but it's going to get the same amount of anything. It's a Disney Channel original movie, minus that coming of age part
and Disney,
like literally, yeah, minus the Disney. Because this seems like every Disney Channel movie said, like, when they're 13, they're like, oh, but I'm discovering something strange about my body.
Sex!
Turns out I'm a mermaid! I'm not even kidding.
It's like, there's pubic hair now.
And scales!
Yeah, there's always some weird transformation.
But this literally, the kids end with a hug, and it's like, whatever. And they don't go over that. It's just a boy and his dog and his dad and a dead mom. That's all it is. And is it going to entertain your kids? Yeah, probably. I mean, it's a robot dog that shoots lasers. It entertained us during those bits. But,
there's this one part and whatnot where there's kind of like this Inception type, like, sound.
Yeah, there's
like,
fucking like this.
And that was the best part of the movie. It was really cool.
It was a Zack Snyder 300 thing.
Yeah.
Where it like slowed down and then just picked up again.
Shockwave.
But, like, your kids aren't going to come to you after this asking you, like, Mommy, I have some questions about the meaning of life.
Is there a RoboRex?
Yeah, they're going to come to you being like, Mom, I want a robot dog that comes from the future and shoots lasers and, oh, look, a fidget spinner! And that is what we think of RoboRex.
Hello, I am you from the future! How far into the future? From the far distant land of 2017. That's only like...
Have you come from the future with a quest for us to prevent a catastrophe of some sorts that we can only solve here in the present?
No, it's great here. what's it like? I mean, like, what makes it so great?
First, we got rid of all religion.
Oh, was it through, like, scientific advancement or just peace between all people?
No, the nukes. All of the nukes.
All of the nukes?
All the nukes.
All of them.
Fired.
Yes, we have achieved peace on Earth because I'm the only one left.
Wait, what do you mean only you? Wait, how is it that you're still alive?
I'm the one who did it. I'm still doing it.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. Alright. Well, future Matt, this sounds terrible. This sounds like the worst possible future. How is this good in any way?
We have a holographic time-traveling phone!
I mean, would you?
I probably would.
So would I.